Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I've already filmed this once. I'm refilming it because of a bunch of technical difficulties. So here we are. I have a bunch of Five Below makeup. A lot of it I owned, a lot of it I've repurchased multiple times. A lot of it I'm just trying because it's fun. I have the Wet n Wild Hydrating Balm Stick, the Photo Focus. They did have multiple priming sticks, and I haven't quite figured out what's best for my skin, so I tend to go either hydrating or matte. This time I decided hydrating because it's been really, my skin's been really dry. So that's that. I also have the new dewy formula of the Photo Focus foundation, and this is one of those products that I've used the original formula, and I'm just curious about the dewy formula because sometimes dewy is good for me and sometimes it's too dewy and it doesn't look great. I also have some brushes, but not all of the brushes that I'm going to use are going to be Five Below. So there's the foundation. It's a pretty good color match. So far I like the finish. It's sitting nicely on the skin. I'm not loving it around my lips, but that could be application, that could be product, that could just be my skin being weird today, who knows. So we'll see how it wears. I also, though I don't generally wear concealer, got the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. I have tried this before, I didn't love it, I figured I would give it another shot. We'll blend that out. Blend it out with, let's try that instead of my normal foundation brush, which is what I would normally do. See if we like that better. Okay, so that didn't give me tons of coverage. It did kind of brighten up my under eye. I always have this line because I've got fat cheeks and it's not something I love, but it's something that I've just kind of learned to deal with. So I don't hate it. Again, we'll see how it wears because you never really know. But I'm not a huge concealer wearer anyway, so it did the job, it concealed. I don't have any like major breakouts to try to conceal right now. I mean, there's this one, but sure, let's try to conceal that one. See what this concealer can really do. Just dab some extra right there. Alright, well that covered that up pretty well, so it's a good concealer. I don't see myself using it frequently, but it's a good one for when I choose to. So I did not buy a powder. I don't know if I couldn't find one or if they just simply didn't have one. So we'll just move on to bronzer, blush, highlight. And I have a bunch of options. I have a single bronzer, I have a blush highlight duo, I have a single blush, and I also have a really pretty highlight palette. I've used all of this stuff before. Some of it I did purchase for this video, but like I said, I'm refilming, so some of it I tried in that video I really liked, and some of it, like the highlight palette was new. I really liked that. This bronzer, didn't love, haven't really picked it up again, so we'll see. We'll start with bronzer. It does have a, breaking stuff. It does have a little bit of shimmer in it, Nothing too crazy. And since I didn't like it last time on the brush I used, I'm gonna use this gigantic fluffy brush and super tap the product off and see if that makes me happier. See, it's not a bad color. It's nice and subtle. I don't love this bronzer. So there's that. And just for giggles, let's contour my nose a little bit. Nothing crazy. I'm just gonna take a little fluffy eyeshadow brush and dip into the bronzer, tap it off, run it down the bridge of my nose just a little bit. Just gives a tiny little bit of definition without being too crazy, too pigmented. I'll keep trying this. Apparently I'll keep throwing it on the floor. I'll keep trying it, see if I like it. So far, it's nothing special, nothing crazy. It's a good color. I did really like this single blush. It wasn't super pigmented. If I could get it open. There we go. So it's really nice peachy. It's a little bit pink for what I would normally go, but it's pretty. And this is the brush set. I'll just show you the whole set. This is the brush set I got from Wet n Wild. It's 2 face brushes and 2 eyeshadow brushes. It's an angled brush, a flat brush. I use these for highlight, and then this can kind of be an all over face. I use it for blush. Sometimes I'll use it for my bronzer if I want something a little more defined, but today we're gonna use it for the blush, and we're just gonna tap in and tap off. And just give ourselves a little bit of color. Alright, so that one is that. It's really, really subtle, which is how I generally like my blushes. So I like that. But just for giggles, let's go in to the blush highlight duo. This is a very, very shimmery blush. Just for a little bit more pigment today. We'll go into that. See how shiny that is? It's a really pretty color. It's a nice flush on me. So if you're going for something with a little more pigment, I would go with this. Just be careful not to go in too heavy-handed. I really like that blush when I want some more pigment. I don't love the highlight. It's a little bit chunky on my skin, so we're gonna go into the palette that I love. But, so there's bronzer, blush, and then see how you can kind of see the line? I'm just gonna go back in with that big fluffy brush and pat that out just a tad. And then we're gonna break stuff again. We're gonna go into this highlight palette. This is the cover of it. It's Five Below. It's really pretty packaging. Really pretty highlight colors. I have been absolutely loving the combination of these two on my skin. Tap that off. There is a mirror in the palette, which I love. I don't want to have to go back and forth with like highlight and eyeshadow when I'm trying to build things up. So, oops. Just tap back in. I've used this palette for inner corner highlights, for highlighter, on me, on my friends. It's a good palette, I like it. So there's that done. And then, too much stuff on my desk right now. So like I said, didn't have a powder. I did buy a setting spray. It's the natural finish. They've got a rose, a cucumber, a dewy finish, I believe. There's 4 or 5 of these. I just chose the natural finish because I've used the matte. That is a strong mister. I've used the matte and I really liked it. And it's the part of the photo focus line. So I figured I would give the natural finish a try. It is a very aggressive mister. So if that's not something that you like, I would definitely not choose that one or hold it like far. But if it's something you don't mind and you just want a good setting spray, I know the matte one is good. So I'm assuming that the natural finish one is good. So now, this is the finished base. And then let's go into the eyeshadow palette. So the eyeshadow palette is also just $5. It is pressed pigments. It says it's pressed pigments. I don't know if I believe that. I thought it was a combination of both. Again, it has a really big mirror, not quite the size of the palette. It is 18 shades, and they have lots of options of palettes at Five Below. Some of them are obviously knockoffs of other things. This one, I didn't right off the bat notice anything like trying to be a knockoff. It was just a random Five Below brand, and it has a bunch of colors that I will absolutely use to death. So let's start somewhere. So I'm going to take a big fluffy brush and I'm going to go right into, let's go fun. We're going to start with a darker, this one. We're going to start with a darker crease color and see, and I'm going to just use the mirror that's in the palette. I was going to use this one. So I also got this from Five Below that's you guys. So it lights up, it has a little button here, turns the lights off. It also has a switch so that you have the ability to use that, but then if you're not accidentally touching things. And it's got a nice stand that rotates completely. It's really easy to pack away. I just keep it right here in my desk drawer for when I'm filming, because otherwise I usually do my makeup like in my bathroom where my lighting's pretty good. So again, we're just gonna tap into this top color, tap off, and then press that into the outer crease and blend. And just repeat until I get the pigment that I want. I've used these shadows a few times. They're not quite as pigmented as I would want, but they're not bad for 18 shadows for $5. Okay, now that that's pretty well blended out, I'm gonna get a still fluffy, but not quite as fluffy blending brush. And I'm actually going to dip into, see, I wish this color right here, Electric, wasn't quite as shimmery because I would use that on my lid. So I think what we're gonna do is dip into this pink called Amplified. I'm really getting in there and then tapping it off so my brush is really coated. Go a little lower on the outer half of the eyelid and tap that color on and really build up that pigment before I go in and blend it out. And there's some fallout in the pan, but it's nothing crazy. And then I'm going to completely tap off that, and I have this little blank slate from Beauty Concepts. I don't know the brand. I found it at TJ Maxx and it was great. And it's just a little like scrubby sponge that comes out of its tin. You pop it in, you rub your brush in it, and it's like starting with basically a clean brush. I mean, obviously you still have to wash them, but if you're doing a colorful look or if you only have a few brushes, I love it. So I'm gonna tap into this, didn't mean to blind you, sorry. I'm gonna tap into this color right here and use that to kind of blend out this pinky color. And I know I need to fix the lighting over here because my face frequently looks uneven. I'll make sure to take you off the tripod and show you what my face actually looks like. And then I'm going to take the same fluffy brush and I'm going to dip into this shimmery purple called Ultralight. Sorry, you can't see this one right here. Tap that off and then do that on the center of my lid. And I'm kind of blending and patting at the same time, patting in like circular motions. And then I'm gonna switch to the flat brush that came in the brush set that I got from Five Below. And I'm going to take take this third one in right here called Luminizer. It's a nice shimmer shadow. It's kind of pink champagne. I'm just gonna press that onto the inner corner of my eye. And I'm pressing and dragging. And then I'm going to take the angled brush that I got in that set, coat both sides, tap off excess, and then I'm going to run that along my lower lash line, only on the outer portion. And then I'm going to also take this, I'm going to go back to that flat brush, and I'm going to actually take a little bit of the black in the palette, the All Night, really tap that off, and I'm gonna run that along just on this outer portion of my lower lash line. I do not have a pencil liner from Five Below. I do have a liquid, so since I'm not going to be lining my bottom lash line, I would smoke my lashes out just a little bit, my lash line out just a little bit. And then there's eyeshadow all over my desk. So then I'm almost at this. I'm gonna take another fluffy brush and just dip into this like tan transition color called Flashback and soften up that outer edge on both eyes. That's all I'm gonna do for the eyeshadow. So there's that. That's that palette. And I'm going to actually use the highlight from the blush duo on. Let's clean that off. We're gonna use a bigger pencil brush. And I'm just tapping in. Get that mirror back out. And I'm just using that on my inner corner. Just to brighten some, and then I'll use it on my brow bone. And that's the eyeshadow. And then, unfortunately, when I filmed this, I had bought so that's the eyeshadow look. Now let's go in with the liquid liner. It is a pen. It is a brush tip pen though. So I'm gonna run that along my upper lash line and then do just a little bit of a wing. Okay, so there is the eyeliner done. It's a very wet formula, but it's not hard to work with at all. It is a brush tip. It's nice and black. It dried down nice. I'm not amazing at doing wings, but for someone who doesn't have a whole lot of practice with wings, I really like it. It's great. So I had bought a mascara, tried it in the initial time I filmed, hated it. It was awful. Got rid of it almost immediately. So instead I'm going to use a different drugstore mascara that Instead I'm going to use a different drugstore mascara that I have found that I really like. It's the L'Oreal, what are we called? The Unlimited mascara. So I have the waterproof one this time, but it's got this cap that swivels so that you can shift where the wand is to make your hand more comfortable, supposedly. I like the formula of it. I don't care about the end of the cap. But this is the only product I'm using that is not from Five Below, and it's because I had to refilm and I hated the mascara, so I wasn't going to spend $5 to buy a product again that I knew I didn't like. So as you can see, stabbed myself in the eye. So I'm gonna wait for that to dry before I try to take it off, and I'll probably have to fix up that under eye. And I'm just gonna finish my lashes and then I'll fix it at the end. So before I do my lips, I'm gonna grab a makeup wipe. I'm gonna grab a makeup wipe and clean that up. Hold on one second. These makeup wipes, I just got at Old Navy one time when I was there. They're like charcoal infused. Alright, so obviously I just wiped off all the makeup on my cheek. So I'm gonna go in and fix that. And then I'll reapply some mascara, do my lips, and I'll give you my final look. Alright, so that's basically fixed. I mean, it's a little uneven now, but that's okay. This is a liquid lipstick that I have used and used and used and used. I have black and blue and like an alien kind of color. I bought this one in a nude. It's called Give Me Mocha. It's the Mega Last Liquid Catsuit. The doe foot on it is curved. I don't know if you can see that, but see how it's a little curved? I love this formula. They've got gloss, they've got liquid lipstick. It lasts forever. It's not tacky. I haven't tried this color, but every other one I've tried are amazing. I almost never have to dip in for a second swipe. Don't need a lip liner with this one. If you're doing like a red, I would still use one. But for the nudes, I've worn this a couple times since initially filming. I think I've worn it like 2 or 3 times. I love this color. I love every other color I have. It's great. But here is the finished makeup look. I'll go into my bathroom, I think, or I'll go outside and I'll take a couple pictures in natural light. But this is the finished look. I loved everything except the mascara that I had to completely get rid of, which is why I used something else in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment. Let me know if you want to see any specific looks. I do have a few things planned that I'm going to film and hopefully get up in the next couple weeks. Subscribe, share it with your friends, all that jazz. See you in the next one. Okay, so here is the makeup in natural light. So see how it's more even when you can see like the full face in natural light rather than my weird lighting situation that I have going on today. But there's that. I like it. I know it's a little uneven because I had to fix my under eye on the one side. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.